The billionaire had witnessed 3 poor triplets being kicked out of their home by their heartless parents. Their wails echoed in his ears even after he left the scene. When the police arrived, the man was gone. The only evidence that there had ever been a disturbance was the sobbing of 3 children huddled together on the sidewalk, trying to shield themselves from the cold night wind. Their parents had just thrown them out of the house like trash, leaving them with nothing but the clothes on their backs. But why? The billionaire wanted to know, and he was determined to find out. He'd seen enough of these kinds of situations to know how it usually went down. These poor kids were most likely on their own now, destined to wander the streets or maybe end up in some kind of foster care system where they'd be shuffled around from home to home without ever really belonging anywhere. He couldn't bear the thought of such innocent lives being so callously discarded. It wasn't just their parents who had failed them, society had too, and that's when he decided to intervene. He would make sure these children had a future. He would give them the love and care they deserved. As the billionaire approached the triplets, they cowered, expecting another harsh word or shove. But instead, they were met with kindness. He knelt down to their level and asked, "What are your names?" "I'm Emma," said the eldest. "I'm Olivia," said the middle child. "And I'm Isabella," said the youngest. "Well then, Emma, Olivia, Isabella," he began, his voice gentle. "I want you to know that I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to help." He learned that they hadn't eaten in days and that their parents had kicked them out because they were, quote, too much to handle. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. These children had done nothing wrong. They were victims of circumstance born into a situation they couldn't control. And yet their parents had shown no mercy, no compassion. It was a side of humanity he'd seen all too often, but it never failed to shock him. The sight of these abandoned children, so vulnerable and defenseless, tugged at his heartstrings. He couldn't turn away. He took them home with him, promising to look after them. He hired a team of private investigators to dig up any information he could about their parents and their past. But what he found out would change everything. The parents had a history of abusing the children. There were reports of neglect, of beatings, and of the children being left to fend for themselves. It was a dark and twisted tale, but he was glad he knew now. He'd already grown fond of the triplets, and he couldn't bear the thought of them going back to that kind of environment. He made the decision to keep them with him, to give them the life they deserved. He wanted to show them that not all adults were like their parents. He arranged for tutors to come to his mansion and teach them, for chefs to cook them meals, and for doctors to check up on their health. He wanted to give them every advantage, every opportunity he could. He felt a sense of responsibility, yes, but also a growing affection for these kids. They were smart and funny and kind, and he loved spending time with them. He took them on trips to amusement parks and museums, to plays and concerts. He wanted to expose them to everything, to broaden their horizons. He hoped he was giving them the childhood they had been denied. But it wasn't always easy. There were times when the triplets missed their old life, their old school friends. There were moments when the trauma of their past caught up with them and they had nightmares or cried out in their sleep. He was there for them, though, always ready to offer a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, a warm embrace. He was their father figure now, their protector, their biggest cheerleader. He watched them grow over the years, blossom into beautiful young women. He was proud of the strong, intelligent, compassionate human beings they had become. But he also knew that their journey was far from over. There was still so much more to come. Then one day, when the triplets were all grown up, something happened that shook them all to the core. The billionaire was involved in a serious car accident orchestrated by none other than their own parents. They had wanted his money, and they were willing to do whatever it took to get it. The triplets were devastated, but they rallied together, supporting each other through the difficult time. In the end, their parents were brought to justice, and the billionaire, though badly injured, survived. It was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the power of love and family, and the unbreakable bond between a father and his children.